Hi, fellow traders. Well, it is Friday. Freaky Friday. That's about all I can say about that. Didn't bring my A game today. Well, it didn't bring my B or C game for that matter. But you're going to have days like today. You trade every day. There are going to be days where you just don't feel yourself for one reason or another. And it happens to everybody in every profession. No, it doesn't matter. But what you have to do is be able to recognize it and, I guess for the lack of a better term, limit the damage. You don't want to continue to press it on a day like today when your timing is just off and you're just not engaged like you should. You're not locked in. And some people say you just have to keep trading until you get it, but that's where you end up losing a ton of money. So what you just have to identify it and just take a step back. Sometimes sit on your hands or just really call it a day. So that's kind of the day that I had today. So let's look at what was going on here. Well, we did have several stocks. YNDX, ROKU, SQ, PG were all on our watch list. We had CLVS, PYPL, SKX, kind of on secondary watches if the volume kicked in. So we had a healthy watch list for Friday. And just about all of them made substantial moves. But, like I said, I wasn't really locked in. Just kind of off the mark a little bit. And, it showed on the bottom line. But the first trade I took was this SKX. Here we put in a 5-minute opening range high. I just didn't have the confidence in the day to buy on the break, which is where you would want to buy. Just didn't have the confidence and probably would have taken profit up here. So I could have got in, taken profit, but I would have been stopped out. So, you could see this kind of crazy price action that we had to deal with. So, I waited until this closed and we showed a little bit of strength. That's when I got in. But you could see this candle turned out to be a kind of a wicked candle. The next candle the same, but we never lost the opening range low. So as long as we didn't close below this, technically this trade was still in play. And I held on to it. First target was this 31.71 level up here and was really looking for it to continue to push. Now, I do submit that this was overbought. We were in the overbought territory, but the last time this stock did this, it ran all the way up into the mid 90s. So, it being in the low 80s really didn't concern me that much because of what it did the last time. But this time it just didn't have the legs. So as we started to show weakness, I went ahead and took it off. It didn't make sense for me to leave it on and come back in and hit my stop at break even. Lock in the profit that you got. And that's what I did. Turned out that was the right move. Never really gave me a clear entry. I was not going to short this close to the 9. And then we had this level here, which was the opening range low. I didn't want to short into that. But here, I did have a good opportunity to get in here. This was a nice move down to the 50, but just like I said, I was kind of all over the place today. Just wasn't really locked in. So we only picked up a couple bucks on SKX with about 74 bucks on it. Not really what I wanted out of this. So the next trade we took was PYPL, and this one the same thing. It just didn't have any legs. For some reason, I was just looking long today. You know, most of my trades are short to the short side, but for some reason, I was just looking long today, and took this to the long side. Could not break over this 85.06 level. It pulled back, stopped me out. You see it held at 20, and we kind of pushed off of this. Still never could break through this 85.06 level, and we ended up just selling off. Did not catch this. But if you look at both of these had to sell through some support, and I would have had to short into this support in order to make it work, and I just don't do that. It would have worked today, but it's just not something that I do, and just didn't get any of these. So this one was a small loss, so we just moved on from there. And now we get to the meat of the day. Now this TVIX, sometimes I even shared it with the community, because too many people are just looking to trade this every day. They look at it as easy money, and they can make easy, quick money, and I know that's what attracts people, but you're dealing with a 2 times leveraged ETN. You can lose money very quickly as well if you don't trade it when you're supposed to. And this being a volatility ETN, you've got to trade it when there's volatility. You just can't trade it in the normal swing. Well, I mean, you can trade it in the normal swings of the day, but it's very difficult, and you have to be quick to scalp, because as you see, the market can change directions very quickly on you. But here's where we started the breakdown. Now, I wasn't going to short it up here. I mean, not short it, but buy up here as the SPY was going through all of the support. I said, I was going to wait for the bounce and get in. But, around here I was at lunch, and it just so happens that when this setup came into play, I wasn't paying attention, and I did not get to trade it. So the only thing I could do was wait until we got through the 200, which was right around in here. It was just above yesterday's close price. So once it got through, that's when I got in, because here's what I was looking for. I expected it that once it got through the 200, that we were going to sell, and we were going to have some people being overly emotional and dumping their shares. Well, we got just the opposite. The dip got bought up, and it didn't just get bought up on one candle like it did here and then roll over. It just continued to get bought up. So ended up having to dump this before we could make any real good money. And honestly, when I calculated this, I would have been up $600-700 if I had just taken it up here. I was waiting for it to get to 44. That was going to be my first target, and you could see what happened here. Once it started selling, and I kind of lost faith in what was going to happen, I had to go ahead and dump it. Was not going to watch it and let it take me negative. And if you go back and look, it really didn't do much after this. And again, this was just a product of me not really being locked in today. But on these, ETFs, if the market is not volatile and it's not making these big moves, and it didn't make the move I wanted to through the 200 on, as it went through the SPY, I just left it alone. I walked away. We still booked, some halfway decent. $220 is nothing to sneeze at. It's not anywhere near what we did yesterday, but we'll take it. For a day where I didn't have my A game, I had my D game. And, to come out positive is always a good thing. So that was my day in a nutshell. So we're going to wrap this up, call it a weekend. I will see some of you guys Sunday morning when we do our swing trade watch list and strategy session. The market should be receptive to our strategies. So actually, there were some that really took off this week. I wasn't looking at swing trades. I wasn't focused on it this week, but we'll be going into next week. But I kind of glanced at what we put on our watch last week, and some of them made some pretty good moves. So we'll be looking to build a pretty good watch list on Sunday, and see if we could squeeze some swing trades in to catch this market as it's bouncing. And I will be doing another segment of Riding with Ed. So you guys that aren't in the community on Sunday, keep an eye out for that. So you guys take care. Have a great weekend. And I will see you soon.